Welcome back to JB Review. On this side I have a Trail Boss, and on this side I have the new ZR2. But here's the question, which one should you choose if you have some money burning in your pocket? We're going to answer that question in this video. Now, as far as the Trail Boss goes, this thing definitely fits the bill for aggressiveness. You have a fully blacked out front end with the grill, bow tie, and even the lower bumper is done nicely. Like what they did with the fog lights, you can't even tell it has fog lights. Red tow hooks, and full LED headlights too. And even the hood is really aggressive. Now on the side over here with the ZR2, you have a little bit more aggressive lower bumper, bigger tow hooks, and a really cool design for the fog lights down below too. And I love what they did with the bumper. They did give you a little bit of a bump out to give you better approach angle if you are going off-road. And one thing I didn't show you on this side, which I'm going to show you now, is check out how far back the skid plate goes. Like, I have to go a little closer just to show it to you, but you see how far back the skid plate goes? And it's finished in aluminum too. On this side of the house, this one has a plastic cover there. That's a better angle right there, but you can see that all that's exposed. And you do have an aluminum plate right there. But on the ZR2 side of the house, it's protecting a lot more down below. And to add to the aggressiveness, even like look right here, I think it's just done a lot better. It's finished like in like a bright black paint. The grill is a little bit more open, and I love the bow tie up front too. It's open as well, compared to the one on the Trail Boss. This basically looks like a regular Chevy Silverado compared to the ZR2, I will be honest. This one definitely takes the cake for front end design. Now let's talk about tire and wheel. On the Trail Boss, you do get a standard 18-inch wheel with a Goodyear, Wrangler, and this is going to be the DuraTrax too. And the tire size is right here. It's going to be an LT 275 65 18. And on this side, you're going to have an 18-inch wheel, and this is also going to be a Goodyear Wrangler tire, but this is going to be the Territory Mud Terrain tires. And check out the tire size on this one. It's going to be a LT 275 70 18, which basically makes this a 33-inch tire. Now, let's be honest here. These look great, but who doesn't like a 33-inch tire? So I do like the overall wheel design better. However, where the Trail Boss takes the win from the ZR2 is the fact that you can get a 20-inch wheel. Most people prefer the larger wheel because it does look better for the appearance, unless you get a meaty tire. Now, nobody is unfamiliar with GM's Rancher shocks. Anytime you see a Z71 or Trail Boss, you're going to see these Rancher shocks, which are pretty decent for going off-road. Now when you walk over to ZR2, you're welcome to an odd-shaped suspension here. So you have the Multimatic DSSV, which stands for Dynamic Suspension Spool Valve. So they replaced the shims and the pistons for this, basically. And this is going to be able to adjust on the fly, and it's really good for going off-road. Like, these are pretty much built for this application. And if you want to add those to any other Chevy, these are $3,700 up front and about $3,600 out back. You heard that correctly, about $7,000, over $7,000 in suspension upgrades. So thinking about that, that's why the ZR2 is such a great pickup truck, because they really did gear this thing for those off-roaders who like to take their trucks out in the wild. Oh yeah, by the way, the ZR2 wins on suspension out back too, because you're still going to have those ridiculous shocks. And on top of that, check this out, you have 5 leaves in the main pack here. Hopefully you guys can see that now. So there's going to be 5 leaves there, compared to the Trail Boss, which only has 3 leaves, and it just has those Rancher shocks. So in my opinion, this has a lot more aggressive suspension overall, and it's a little bit more robust too. By the way too, you see that? They do provide a insert here for the wheel well, which is an option for the Trail Boss. Okay guys, I'm giving way too many wins to the ZR2 over here. Like, it's really eating this Trail Boss for lunch. But here's where the Trail Boss wins over the ZR2. Engine options. If you're building a truck from the factory, you have a better shot at getting a diesel, or if you're at a price point, you can get a 5.3 liter as well. Or if you want that same 6.2 liter in the ZR2, you can option the Trail Boss LT with that same engine. This one is obviously equipped with the Duramax diesel. It's an inline 6. This thing has more horsepower and torque for 2023. And I bet you money it would outrun this thing from a dig. I think it would. I don't know yet, actually. I probably shouldn't say that because I've never raced them. But it would be close, I will tell you that much. And here's where this wins at. Fuel mileage. This thing can get 21 in the city compared to like 15, and I think like 22 or 23 on the highway. And I've heard from other viewers that they've gotten closer to 30 mpg with this setup. So this is where the Trail Boss wins, is you have more options for engines. They both are made it to 10-speed transmissions, and yeah, I think that transmission has been pretty good for the most part. I haven't heard anyone really complain about it. And if you are wondering, this does have 305 horsepower, 495 pound-feet of torque compared to 420 horsepower, 460 on this side. So, as I mentioned, this definitely wins. Now, let's just talk about interior really quickly. There is nothing wrong with this interior anymore on the GM side of the house. And this Trail Boss, if you get an LT, you do get the upgraded interior. Now, this is where the Trail Boss is going to win, and everyone knows it. It's price point. This interior in the LT is amazing. And quite honestly, you're going to be able to get this at a cheaper price compared to this ZR2. This is an almost $80,000 truck. This one's about $65,000. And if you want leather seats, if you want to really jazz up this interior with a sunroof, you can obviously do those things. But for the most part, everything that you see in here comes standard. So it has heated seats, dual climate control. Check out the animation too. It also does the animation on this screen too. And as I mentioned to you, you have auto four-wheel drive, so it has a 2-speed transfer case. It does have a locking rear axle out back too. And yeah, this is a nice pickup truck. 13.4 inch screen with 12.3 on this side. You still have the paddle shifters, and there's nothing more to be said. This is a great design and a great bargain price compared to the ZR2. But if we're being honest, this interior for the ZR2 is absolutely amazing. The door card with the lime green stitching, soft touch pretty much everywhere, and I like the accent black chrome. The ZR2 badge down below. The bowstring in the seats sold me. When I saw that and felt this, I was like, okay, I want this truck. This is one I would want to get if I was buying a half ton. And this one also has a power steering column too. And yeah, check out the attention to detail in this truck, guys. It's super nice. This one still has the paddle shifters. You have the front and rear lockers right there. This one has a sunroof. But again, you have to figure out for yourself what makes more sense, because this truck is $80,000 basically. 80 grand, and it's hard to get these. So if I had to pick today which one I'd get, it'd probably be the Trail Boss, because I like the fact that you can get a diesel. I like the fact that there's a little bit more customization you can do on this truck. Granted, this truck does have a lot more things standard, and it is a nicer truck overall. I like the fender flares that it has. I like the overall wheel design that you guys saw on the outside. But I like the idea of having a diesel, and because towing is important to me, this truck does have a little bit higher gross fuel weight rating, which means it's going to give me more payload capacity. So this truck with the diesel has 1,601 pounds of payload. Now if you get a gas engine, it's going to be higher. For the ZR2, you're gonna have a 7,100 pound GWR, so you have a little bit less capacity overall. And because this truck is a little bit heavier, as you can see here, is 5,764 pounds, it does have less payload capacity. So you're not going to be able to tow as much trailer with this truck. That's why they actually reduced the towing capacity on the door here. I bet you guys weren't surprised by that outcome. Although this is a really cool pickup, that truck suits me better because of what I do for a living. Hope this video was helpful. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City, Utah. If you are in the market, be sure to give these guys a look up, and if you do buy from them, be sure you let them know that you saw this video.